Colleagues, I am so delighted to convene the 89th session of the Minnesota State Senate and very honored to be with you. I noted to Senator Bach the other day that this is my first visit to the Senate floor, and I hope that it is an auspicious beginning. So far, I have avoided falling on the stairs or otherwise bringing embarrassment to the executive branch. For that, I am grateful. But in seriousness, I hope that this is the beginning of what Governor Dayton and I sincerely hope will and expect will be a straightforward, productive working relationship between the Senate and our administration in 2015 for the benefit of all Minnesota. So please accept my congratulations, my very best wishes, and my pledge to work closely with all of you in the months ahead for a productive session for the good of the whole.
I do.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Thanks so much. Good to see you, too. Senator Bach.
Madam President, this is the standard resolution to get the Senate organized that names Senator Han as the minority leader and myself as the majority leader of the Senate for the 89th session. I move Senate Resolution Number 1.
That's a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion prevails. The Secretary will report Senate Resolution Number 2.
Senators Bach and Han introduced Senate Resolution Number 2, a Senate resolution relating to rules, adopting temporary rules for the 89th session of the legislature.
Senator Bach.
Madam President, this resolution adopts what were the permanent rules of the Senate for the last session with two small changes. One is, you'll notice that if you've had any bill jackets drafted by the revisor's office, you now are signing 2 copies of jackets for submission to the front desk rather than previously we had 3. I guess we've discovered kind of in our space needs around here that there really wasn't a need for a 3rd copy of a bill's introduction. So that is one change. The other change is something that the Rules Committee had considerable conversation about near the end of session last year, and that was the issuing of credentials to press that are going to provide news coverage of the Senate. They're under the current rule, last year's permanent rules. The rule said that credentials may not be granted to a political organization. The change being proposed, and I want to thank Senator Newman for working on this with us and with Council. The additional language included is, in addition to not issuing credentials to political organizations, that the political organization language include that we also will not issue credentials to individuals affiliated with a political organization. So, Senator Newman, I want to thank you for working on that. Other than that, members, the rules are the same rules that we worked with under the last session. These will be our temporary rules until the time when the Senate Rules Committee is able to meet, promulgate new rules to bring back for the Senate to consider. I move adoption of Senate Resolution Number 2.
Discussion. Senator Hall.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I'll be opposing this rule, and simply, although I see there are some good parts that have been changed, and I appreciate that, but the part that's always concerned me and that I brought up in the past has been the rule that does not allow the chaplain of the day to pray to the deity that he believes is his personal deity. And thus I believe it is a constitutional right or freedom that is being taken away from our members or the chaplain of the day. I think we as Minnesotans should be those that stand up for the First Amendment, should be leaders in standing up for it, in the freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, petitioning the government. I don't believe in this chamber we should have this type of discrimination, so I will be opposing it today.
Senator Han.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to recognize that we did raise the issue in the minority about the press credentials, and I want to thank the majority and the body for recognizing that there was a need for clarification. Some of us might have thought the rules that we had were sufficient, but clarity helps, and we want to just express appreciation for the change in the rules with respect to press credentials. Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? Then the vote is on the Bach motion to adopt. The Secretary will take the roll.
The results of the roll call on the election of Speaker are as follows.
All members having voted, the Secretary will close the roll. There being 63 ayes and 3 nays, the motion prevails. The resolution is adopted.
Well, Madam President, members, welcome back. And look forward to renewing old acquaintances as we move forward. I would encourage you to attend the One Minnesota Conference tomorrow. Those kind of events outside the building where we have an opportunity to network together in a bipartisan way, I think, are helpful to the functioning of the Senate. And further, would like to ask for everybody's patience. This is going to be a very, very difficult legislative session. The logistics of this Capitol, you can start to see today, and the public is starting to see, are going to be very challenging. And the fact that the Senate is going to have to operate with 3 hearing rooms due to the renovations, you'll notice the committee times have been compressed, and it's going to be quite challenging. So to members and staff alike, please, let's be patient with each other. This is going to be difficult surroundings not only for all of us, but for the public as we try to figure out how to conduct a legislative session in a building that's under significant renovation. So when your temper starts to feel it flare a little bit, please count to 10. But before we sound off on each other, it's going to be stressful enough without us getting at each other's throats. With that, Madam President, I move the Senate do now adjourn until Thursday, January 8th, 11 a.m.